Hi, my name is Mark Anthony Dubose Jr. I was born July 4th, 1986. I want to say thank you for tuning in. Today, I want to talk about something that I got some comments that I like where things are going, in a sense, when people are starting to ask, I feel like the right questions. But I'm going to say from the person that wrote this comment that's been, I know, watching me for the past year, I'm confused in what it is that you're looking for. So I want to explain, because you're clearly confused. And that's the concept of, Mark, your dang border collie, he blowing you off. He ain't listening to you. Is that what we're looking for in our dogs? Talk about how great your dogs are and how awesome they are. You clearly had to keep telling him to go home in that video over and over and over. He didn't listen to you. It's the thing that I'm going to say, and I've said this in many videos. Please, please do not look, pay attention, try to mimic, do anything with, worry about my border collie. He's not a pet dog. He's not a sport dog. He's not a competition dog. He is a real world working animal. He does not function the way that I want any of my Pyrenees and my border collie. They are never going to function in the way that the public's eye is ever going to understand. They are going to be completely different because they need to be extremely independent. They need to be to the point of the most independence of independent that I'm nobody to them when they're doing their work. And that's the thing that I want people to understand, because when it comes down to certain cases in your work, there's something in these dogs that we have to have. And that's called intelligent disobedience, such as a blind seeing eye dog. The dog, even if you're nudging the dog to say, come on, go in the street, and the dog clearly sees that there's cars still going, the dog is going to purposely, and it's going to make a big scene about blowing off the owner, because the owner is needing that from that dog in a level of safety. It's the work that is pushed in that dog to do. And there's many instances, but the biggest, easiest ones to see are the seeing eye dogs. They have a specific job that they have to do. And I don't care if I'm saying don't do that in that moment. They know it's best. They know what they have to get done. And it's the thing with my border collie. When we're working, we're getting it done. There's no such thing as, oh, I'm tired. So he's 6.5 years old. For the past 6.25 years, every single day, we got the job done. Every day we get the job. We never just give up on the job. When we get out there and there's work to do, we finish it. There's no, it's too cold, it's too rainy, it's too snowy, it's too hot. We finish our work 100% of the time. So when I get in the middle of saying to him, let's not finish this work right now, I got an issue, because he's saying to me, no, this is the work that we need to do. This is what we got to get done. So in that case, I want him to follow through. I want him to blow me off. I want him to show me all the backlash and all the attitude in the world, because he's proving to me that, buddy, we got stuff that we got to do. And there's been times that, unfortunately, when he wasn't the best of the best at being able to do what he does, that I had to go out there and start running. And when I would get tired, that means we got to stop, right? Because I'm tired. And he would just keep pushing me. He would push me and say, buddy, let's go, let's go, let's go. And I agree. He is my work partner. He is my work mate. He's my work buddy. He's my work, just absolutely amazing, incredible animal that pushes me to say, we got more to still do. We got to finish it. We're not here to just play around. We're not here to lollygag. We're here to complete the mission. We're not here to just be halfway. And that's something that you do not want that in your pet dog. You do not want that even in your competition sport working dog. You want completely 100% compliant, obedient dogs. And I can use that word obedience. I can use that word compliance, because that's what I have with my other dogs. They're not like that, because even in that video with Johnny, he goes to it because that's that pack mentality that I'll say. When one else is going in it, that's where, for him, I'm going to do a little bit more leash work with him, with Oreo working around the animals to get him to relax a little bit more. It's the same way that Ophi is. I made a video yesterday, day before. I'll post that at some point. I'll get there. But explaining I don't do anything with Johnny. I don't do the same stuff I've done with Ophi with Johnny. But now in reality, I kind of want to, because I want to simplify my life a little bit even more. But there's a big transition that goes on there. When I tell him to go home and he finally does, and Johnny's there, is Johnny chasing a single chicken again? He's completely 100% disengaged. That's the differences here. He doesn't have the mission in him, or you can't see him, but Johnny right there, he doesn't have the mission of we got to complete the job. We got to do the job. This is the differences of dogs. And this is the differences of nowadays, people, like 99.9% of y'all have nothing of a need and a desire that I have with certain dogs I have, such as my Pyrenees and such as my border collie. And that's why I don't ever want to show no one, explain to no one how to be able to do what it is that I do with these dogs. because it's not relevant to you. You do not want a dog. You may want, but you do not want a dog that is 100% independent. You want a little bit in there where I can be able to say to you what's going on. But as far as when they're doing their work, you don't want that. Because most of y'all, unfortunately, you have that. That's why I don't explain how to do it, but I explain how to get away from it. Because I know how to do it. But the problem is, if I start to explain how-tos, for whatever reason, I don't know what this is, but when you tell the kid don't touch it, they touch it. When you tell the kid don't do that, they do that. When you that's just what we are. When easy example, I noticed how I don't twist my ankles when I'm running on these rocks and on these trails, because I'm looking at where I want to step, not where I don't want to step. Every time I look where I want to step, where I don't want to step, because I'm like, ooh, I shouldn't go there. Every time I hit it. But no, I'm looking at where I want to go, not where I don't want to go. That's why I don't want to explain and talk about in reality either of those dogs, because they do stuff that you do not want in your dog. Straight up, you don't want it because you don't need it. If you needed it, I can maybe set up something on the side. I can talk to you a little bit about how to get your dog to get stuff done regardless. It will work regardless. It will keep going regardless. It won't quit regardless. It will figure it out on its own regardless. It doesn't need your help. It doesn't need any assistance. It doesn't need any guidance. It knows how to get it. You showed it how to do a few times. I want the chickens. So for him, I want the chickens in this coop. And nowadays, I don't care which coop it is. I give it to open to wherever it's closest to. It's going in that one in that moment. And he knows if there's a chicken out, and even right now, he's walking around, but I'm not saying we're doing that work right now. So he's completely disengaged. And at this moment, if he does start moving one, I can just say, hey, Oreo, come home. And it's easy because we're not doing our work. But if I go back there and I got a chicken running loose, I got something that shouldn't be where it should be, he's going to go into drive and say, I got it done, man. I'm going to finish this up for you. And he's going to follow through until we're done, because that's my life. That's what I do every day. That's why I said, even in that video, I'm going to add a very high level of complexity here right now. And a lot of times I'm doing stuff like you're looking at things that I'm doing and you don't know the story, but I do. So that's why, to me, certain times I'll say that's impressive. Whereas to you, you're looking at it, you're like, well, that's not all that much. But I'm going to say to you, have a dog for 6 straight years that you're telling it to never fail, never bail on the mission, and still be able to get that dog out without having to grab it, put a leash on it, do anything, but just keep repeating yourself of what you want. Because each time I say something to me, because what happened is he's 100% focused. So I say something, I say go home, he turns into 90% focused, 80% focused, 40% focused. And then he's like, okay, I finally hear you. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. And after I said to get out of here, he did not, and he does not challenge that one lick a bit. He stays exactly where I told him to go. And that's the thing. This is the differences here. That in a sport world, I would want it to be differently. I would want every single time that I say to the dog to out, to stop, I want him to do it on a dime. That's the sport. That's fake stuff. Real world, I cannot allow my dog to think. So for instance, it's not life or death with the chicks, but sometimes with the cows, it gets sketchy. It gets weird because we're in tight spots and things get strange. But with the chicken, I've been unfortunately attacked by a couple of roosters, and that stuff is no joke. It's a hot mess. And so I can't have a dog that is going to go ahead and get just close enough to say pin it down. For that rooster to have in its mind, it could get up and just jump and attack me and get him up. Because if I'm leaning down after it, that thing's feet, I don't know if y'all know what these chickens are like, but they got serious nails on them and their spurs are seriously sharp and long, and they have serious power behind these little things. I don't think most people understand. Every time I let someone hold a chicken, I just let you hold the hens. The roosters are powerful. They are powerful. You don't just pick it up and just hold it. No, you gotta use force that you're almost like, I think I'm gonna hurt this thing. They are powerful. They look small, but they're not. They have, I don't want to talk about that, but they are tough. So I can't have this sport mindset of it that go ahead and get it down and then just release the pressure. No, I need you to release the pressure the same way I can say it as like a police dog is. People get confused about this, but I don't, because I do the work and I see it. When the dog is on the guy or the girl, but mainly the guy, the handler is saying out, 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 but the dog does not respond because it shouldn't. Because if it does, it's going to be disobedient to the mission. So this is where the cops get in trouble, because they're saying out, and we're, as the public, are looking at it like, oh, the dog's not releasing. No, it shouldn't release until the guy is handcuffed. Once the person is handcuffed, he's secured. Now we can really, the dog, in the most cases, when you watch these videos, once the cuffs go on, they don't even need to speak to the dog. The dog just sees that and he's like, oh, and he walks off. Because the mission now is complete. You cannot stop until the mission is complete, because it turns into a safety hazard. And a safety hazard for a police dog is a little different than what mine is, but I just don't want to get a punctured eye. I just don't want to get hurt. I just don't want to get damaged in any way. And also at the same time, it's unfortunate, the police dogs do damage the humans more, but my dogs don't damage the animals. They don't puncture them. They don't scratch them. They don't do any of that. A feather may get loose, but it's not because even the dog is pulling them off. The feathers of the chickens release when they get a little bit nervous. And so they just start to fly off. This is a thing that sometimes you're looking at stuff and you don't know it all. And this is why I wish that people would just direct ask me, what the heck is going on here right now? Because this is crazy. This is wild. Anytime that anyone's seen, because I just put that for public to see. I don't like putting moving animals for public to see, because it's intense. It's crazy. And if you don't know what's going on, you can have a view of that's not right and that's wrong. But there is, I'm going to say a wrong way about it. And then there's another way to say, okay, I see what's going on here. Because when it comes down to, say, moving chicks around, these things aren't dumb. The same as moving rats and mice around. They're not dumb. And I'm able to use their smartness against their own selves to make them do something that is instinctual in them to get them to respond. And then what starts to happen is they work together with each other, and I no longer have to really get anything done. So like right now, the rooster man, he was in my front. I just don't want these guys I don't know what it is. I'm being picky this year, but not just being picky, but just seeing the what can be done here. I don't want them in my front yard. I just put all this mulch all up here. This is some serious work, and the chickens come and they just scratch it and they move it and they just throw it all in the driveway. I'm just sick and tired of that. So the rooster man is out there every single day. He's been somewhere I don't want him to be, and I go ahead and I say, no, I want you here. No, I want you here. No, I want you here. And at this moment today, all he has to do is just see Oreo. And he's like, oh, okay, I'll just go back over there. I'm fine. And we're done. We're finished. I don't have to keep moving forward. This is the thing that I don't believe that a lot of people, that's why I don't like showing it too much, but at the same time, I kind of do, just to show something that a lot of people haven't seen and don't even understand. You don't understand a dog that has to get stuff done. Most people, your dogs are what all the rest of mine are, just hanging out. They don't have a specific mission. They don't have a specific task that they follow through and do every day. They don't have specific work that they get done to be able to make your life easier. And not even just to make your life easier, but to keep your life to be safe. You don't have dogs like that. My border collie, when I'm out in the field, I don't like being out there without him, because the cows sometimes just get weird. They get weird. They get pushy. Not even that they're trying to be hostile and aggressive and try to hurt me in any way, but they're so big. And if it just runs up to me and just, especially the in-between age ones, the ones that are like 1 to 2 to 3 years old, they're not like quite running, dancing, energetic, but they will run up on you and they can hit you. And people that I personally know have had broken ribs from these guys, broken shoulders from these guys, broken hips from these guys because they got hit. I can't have that. I'm not trying to get hurt. And at the same time, I don't want to hurt the animal, but I don't want to get hurt. And so we have to have that balance. And a dog is able to provide that balance. I'm going to almost say, not a single person that watches my videos, you have no need for that at all. Zero need for that. You have no care for that. And that's why I don't want to teach it, because you could teach your dog to do that to people, to do that to other dogs, to do that to other items. This is why I'm going to say, even in that video, certain dog breeds, I think that some people should just stay away from, because you're teaching them these tactics that are good for a farm and good for work, but not good for society and good for being social. They're not good, because a lot of y'all border collies do what you seen mine do, and that's not good. Can I convince him not to do that? Maybe, but I have a need for him. This isn't I just take him to the park and play and sit and have a picnic with him. That's not my dog. My dog is about serious business. Every single day, serious business. Stuff gets done. If I get up right now and I walk back there and I say, put him up, let's go get him, you'll watch that dog just turn in and get stuff done. And he'll come back, and I don't know how long it'll take him. And at this point today, it's pretty cool, because I could just sit. I could go tell him what I want him to do. I can come back, I can sit, and he'll come back when it's over and it's finished. He doesn't quit until it's finished. I mean, he won't quit until it's finished. And he won't even want me to try to tell him to quit until it's finished, because that's, and for one, my mindset. We're going to follow through. We're going to get her done. We're not just here to just play a little bit. No, we're going to complete what we started. And I've done that every single day. Y'all ain't got that. But the thing is, y'all are doing that with your dogs. And that's why I try to speak against it. There's certain things, because there's a video I made I don't know which I'm going to post first or where I'm going to post, but a guy that just keeps hassling me a little bit. There's a powerful thing that I do like that he states. You never train this dog. You never train a dog like this. You never train a dog like that. And there is, I'm going to say, a little bit of expertise that comes from being able to train dogs to do things, to learn how to get them, in my mind, and looking at it, not to do things. When I can convince a dog how to, like straight up, my border collie, I train him how to attack, how to hold, how to alert, how to guard, how to guard is resource guard, how to do all these things. I taught him how to do that. I taught him how to do that on command. Hey, watch them and know that if they take another step closer, you pursuit and you go put teeth on them. I've taught him how to just circle, how to move around them. I've taught him how to know there's a difference between I'm saying, hey, go get it and get a hold of it. Because if I say get a hold of it, you do everything you can to stop this animal right now because there's something crazy going on in this moment. I taught him how to do all those things. And since I taught him how to do all these things, I know how to teach the dog not to do any of those things, because that's the contrast you're going to see with my dogs across the board. I have one that knows that can do all that, and I've got others that do absolutely zero of that. Zero. They have zero care. Not that they don't even have care. I just have purposely made them to be indifferent too. And there is power behind knowing how to do other things. That's why for me, it's power behind learning how to be able to create and teach my dogs to know how to pull hard on the harness. Since I've teaching them how to pull hard on the harness, I know how to get them not to pull on the harness, how to get them to get out of that. Since I've teach dogs to know how to resource guard items, especially food, bones, toys, I know how to what's going on to make you do that. But I can't talk about it. I don't even want to talk about it because, again, it's going to make you keep doing that as opposed to doing the opposite. I could, because I used to talk like this, knowing that it's the manipulation part of, is it good or is it a bad thing? Because I know how human beings are. If I tell you to do one thing, you do the opposite. So if I start telling you to do the opposite, and then you'll start actually doing what it is, I guess I could say I'm looking for, the way to be able to get what you're wanting. But I can't morally do that. In myself, I can't do that. So as much as it probably would help most people out in reality, teaching you how to get your dog to guard other dogs, to make sure that they don't get close to you, teaching you how to make sure that other humans and people don't get close to you, teaching them that. You're more than likely going to start doing the opposite. More than likely. Like my best case scenario is like 80% of y'all are going to start to do the right stuff, because you're going to start to realize the main thing behind this is you're going to start to realize what you're doing. You're going to say, oh, that guy was telling to do this to get his dog to know how to attack another dog. And then you're going to watch yourself. You're saying, whoa, I'm doing that. I don't want to go that route. I can't go that route. It's not ethically right for me to go that route, to lie and manipulate and just lie to you. I can't do that. I want to be able to explain to you how to be able to get your dog in a better place. And that is through getting them to be indifferent by putting them in the scenario and getting them to be calm, getting them to be relaxed, getting them to be able to just hanging out, and no matter what's going on, it's all good. Because that's how I was able to get the Dalmatian to look how she looks. She's on leash with me. I'm out there. I just did. I would always put Johnny in a downstay. So I just stopped. And I didn't like that so much. So I just allowed him to, for the past, it's been about a year, to be able to help Oreo with doing what he's doing, because he doesn't kill them. He doesn't hurt them. He I don't know why. He's never killed them. So he'll go to the point that it's like, hey buddy, like chill out, like just get off it. But he'll put his mouth on it in that sense of holding it down. He's never punctured. He's never scratched him. He's never done anything. So I was like, shoot, buddy, he can only do it for a little while, because then he starts to get to that sloppy point, and then he just starts to, unfortunately, run in the trees, and I don't want him to get hurt. So I let him do it for a little bit. So he helps Oreo out, but he doesn't go intense. Whereas my Dalmatian, she went to the point that she would just kill him. It's instant. If I would have Oreo out there day one, even just a couple of months ago, out there with Oreo moving those chickens, she'd kill them. She would just kill it. She'll just go and grab its neck, shake it, and move to the next. That's all that she wanted to do. She had zero desire on just like containing and moving and holding these animals. She just went straight for the kill. Straight for the kill every time. Unfortunately, I mean, she didn't kill one, but she got one mangled up once for me, and I was just, I'm not say I messed up, but it happened so fast, and that's when I realized I got to dial it back before I could just try to think about going that far that soon. And that's what I talk about today. Don't go that far that soon. Don't have your dog, another dog that's literally trying to eat your dog's face off in its face two inches away from it. Let's back up a little bit. Let's back up some. So I would stand way at the back right here with Ophi on leash, because even in that video, I made one of her in that exact same scenario, but I didn't have Oreo out in it because I know what Oreo does to her to go wild over these chickens. And so I purposely had him locked up, and I had her back there on leash. So at first she was walking around and she started to build and build and build and build and build. And I was like, okay, we got to get you back on leash. So I just go right back. I get a distance. I put her on leash and I stand there and I hang out. She relaxes. I let her off leash and she walks around again. If she starts to get excited, I grab the leash, I put her there, and I make her hang out again. And that works so much today that there could be a dog that's in full pursuit, chasing and going and doing, and she's like, no, I'm good. That's not for me. And it didn't come down to me trying to, what's the word, or redirect her, trying to punish her, trying to correct her, trying to anything with her. I put her in it. That's why every time you see her, especially in that video, I'm a little surprised in reality. Every single time, because I'm just going based off of what I see on a little bit here and there, and then all of a sudden I'm just like, let's just try this out. I throw the camera on in a sense of, I don't know what's going to happen. We're just winging it. And I just put it on. Here we go. And I'm surprised to see that. Every single time I look back at her, she's just like, hey, how you doing? What's going on with you? Not engaged, not nervous, not scared, nothing. Just completely just like satisfied of living in the world. It was just, that's the part that I want people to really understand. Don't worry about other parts that don't have anything to do with what it is that you're looking for. And my dogs, I've got a Great Pyrenees. You do not want this dog. You do not want him. You do not want to be anywhere near. You do not want to bring your dog here right now without me putting your dog on leash, me introducing him to my dog, because I get wild dogs out here. I can't have him out here. He is going to be hostile to every single dog that I don't bring to him to say, hey, man, we're cool. And so if you come with your dog and try to get next to my dog, he's going to look hostile at your dog, and your dog's going to be wanting to run the heck away, or it's going to want to think to fight, but you're just fighting against the wrong one. You're fighting against a dog that is powerful enough to mess with coyotes. It's not a joke. And I'm drilling that in this dog, because I've had dogs out here kill my stuff. It's unfortunate. It's just the life of being out here and doing what I'm doing. I've got food running around out here that dogs want. Dogs absolutely want. They want everything that I have out here. And when I got my chicks running around, they'll come up and just start killing it, eating it. And then I wake up and I see a dead chicken over there. I'm like, man, what the heck's going on? And then I always know it's not, say, my dog, because I'm always like, oh, what if it was my dog? No, because I see them. I start to study them. I watch them. They start to go potty up there. They start to potty in front of my fence. My dogs don't go potty on the opposite side, on the outside, on the easement on my road. I start to see dog poop out there. And I'm like, I got a dog coming over here now. And then every single day, the dog would just get closer and closer and closer to the point that now the dog's starting to consume my stuff. Can't have that out here. So the way that I work with my Great Pyrenees here, you do not want your dog like that. You do not want that. You do not need that. And that's going to be a big liability for you. For me here, I have all rights to shoot a dog on my property if it comes over here. You don't. You have no right to do anything to defend yourself against any animal. You can't shoot, especially if you're close within city limits. You can't just shoot a dog. You can't do it. And you're wrong for that. If I got one out here that's chasing my cows, that's chasing my chickens, I'll shoot it dead. I have the rights to do that. So I can have the rights to, at the same time, have my guardian animals do what I need them to do. Am I going to get in trouble because my donkey killed a dog? No. My donkey did what the donkey's doing. Who's at fault here? The owner of the dog, not the owner of the donkey. And this is the things where things get a little complicated. This is what complicated for me with my Pyrenees for a little bit. He cannot leave this property. He cannot leave this property. He cannot, and I'm right now working and drilling that in on him of saying, buddy, you can't leave. Because then who's at fault? I'm at fault when my dog is not where it should be. But as long as my dog is where it should be, I'm smooth sailing with doing what it is that I need to get done to make sure that my stuff stays safe. And this is the thing. A lot of y'all with these even mastiffs, guardians, livestock dogs, you're teaching them things that I've taught my dog. How to guard, how to protect, how to be on alert, how to get the threat out. And you don't need it. You don't need it. But yet, those are the same practices you're doing. Because when I go to people, I see y'all dogs look like my working dogs. And you're only just heading up for absolute disaster. Because you're doing stuff that you need not to be doing. Again, this is the concept of why most people should not be paying any attention to, say, most of these sport working dogs. Stop paying attention to these dogs. Because they're close enough to being the real working thing. They're close enough there. Because in reality, they all, like say police dogs, for instance, they all start with sport. They all start with equipment, with bite sleeves and tugs and all that. They start with the sport side of it. And then after that sport side, they start to go into the, say, real world stuff, or they call it civil work. They go into the real world, hidden sleeves and hidden parts, so that the dog still knows you're still biting regardless. So even when you get that dog to that point that it's before civil work, before real work, it still has all that guarding, protecting stuff in them. It's still there. It's in them that you're training them in to be. This is the concepts of, I mean, watch any sport trainer teach how they do, especially, what's that one sport called, Monio ring? There's one part in it that is cool. It's object guarding, that they have something in the middle of the ring, or they'll put whatever in there, and then they have the dog guard that item. Don't come close to this item. And so if they'll have like a decoy, a person walk up to it to try to get the item out, and the dog will bite that person. Watch how they train to do stuff like that. I don't want you to watch it. I'm not going to teach it, but you could learn it from someone else. There's not many videos of this out there, but you would have to go to a club to learn more about this information. But what they're doing is, I'm going to almost guarantee what you are also doing. And they're doing something to make sure that the dog is going to be, it's not hostile. It's not aggressive. The dog is just doing what's in the dog to do. This is why things don't go to the point of, for the most part, life or death with like a border collie moving sheep and goats and cows. It doesn't go to life or death. It can get hostile. It can get a little weary, but it doesn't go to the point that I'm trying to end your life. But the problem is, when the dogs aren't channeled in knowing what they're doing, the dog may go to that point of ending its life. And that's where things can start to get dangerous. That's why your dog is wanting to attack all other dogs, because you're doing the same techniques. You got to do the opposite to get the opposite results. You can't do the same stuff thinking you're going to get a change. You got to do something opposite here. And that's something that, unfortunately, it's like, to me, it's common sense knowledge, but for some reason it's unattained information, and only the masters and the experts and the magicians have it. It's like, no, it's just information that we all have and we all know. Oh, cool. I got a bird in a bird's nest right here. Be fascinating to watch baby birds grow up. Oh, I know. It's that swallow. He was trying to build a nest back there in my patio, but I go out that door too often, so I must have scared him. He found himself a new spot. That's pretty cool. So, sorry, just life out here. It's always cool when new life comes around. I had turkeys one year come. I was like, come on, buddy, y'all can stay. I got throw feed out there for you. Just stay over here. It's cool when new life comes around. It's so relaxing and energizing and calming. It's an interesting experience. I don't know how to explain it. It's something neat. But I just want to say, end it right there and just say thank you. That for anyone that's watching my stuff, and in reality, I want you to question what it is that I do so that I could explain it. Because a lot of times the stuff that goes on that I even do that I don't even realize and even know what's going on. It's just happening. And it's happening because I've been doing it for so long. So for instance, my border collie, I've been doing work with him for so long that it happens. Me and him understand each other, and me and him have a dialogue with each other that it doesn't even go down to words, because we don't speak when we work. We do. And when I have techniques and ways to be able to get this dog to understand what it is I'm looking for. And it may not be, again, it's not going to be appropriate for what you want in another dog. My dog knows, because my dog is not scared of me. My dog's not nervous of me. My dog is not weary of me. My dog is empowered with me, especially when we're together. He turns into what he is, what a dog represents, a savage beast. He's serious. He's absolutely incredible, and I enjoy the dog like no other. And the next one I get, I'm going to be a little like, unfortunately, hopefully not comparing, and hopefully I can be able to bring that next dog to be just as confident, just as independent. But that's something that is valuable, and it is not valuable to, I'm going to almost put it at 100% of people right now. You do not need that. You do not want that. Again, someone going to say, oh, you're a cop out, this intelligent disobedience. That's not real. You're just using that to say that you don't have control over your dog. And all I can say is look it up. Look it up. Because it comes down to, we have to put this in these dogs and not even put it in them. We have to allow the dogs to be able to do that. Because a good example, there's all kinds of examples, but the CNI dog, it can't let the person go in the road when there's cars coming. It's going to say, nope. It may even chew on the owner a little bit to say, we're not going. Because even if that dog chews on that person, that's better than getting hit and having almost to the point of, you could end your life in reality. And the same thing with sled dogs. The sled dog cannot go off a cliff. It's not going to go off a cliff. So you could say, go left, go left, go left. And that dog is going to look at you and say, we are not going left. We're going to fall off a cliff. So that dog is being disobedient. You could whip the dog and whip the dog and whip the dog, and it is not going to conform to you. It's going to say, we're going this way. It's going to be disobedient to keep the pack alive, to keep you alive, to keep you safe, to keep everything in order. The police dog is not going to release on a bite, because if he does, that person may grab what's in their waist. They may have a knife on them. They may have a gun on them. They may have something on them. So if the dog releases because you're saying out, oh, let go and please stop that, and that person comes out and it ends up harming that officer, we can't have that happen. The dog is going to disobey. I don't care how many times you hit the dog needs to stay on the bite. That's why in those sports, what do you think they do to the dogs? They use they use these rubber things nowadays. They used to use like bamboo sticks and stuff, or like rigid sticks. They're actually hitting the dog to let the dog know, do not ever let go. And then it changes in real world application of don't let go until this action happens. Not because of any word that I state to you. The words I say, ignore them. Worry about this action here. So the action with my border collie is I'm walking away or I'm going to walk to him to make sure that he's focused on me. Because a lot of times if he's doing what he's so fast, I mean, even that video, you watch him, he's so fast, he's moving. So I have to get his attention. So if he's over here and I'm over here walking away and he's not seeing that I'm walking away, I got to go and get to him to make sure like, hey, buddy, well, let's get the heck out of here. I'm saying that we're done. And then he'll come with me. And that's how I have with them. Then that's what I would say is the border collie, the cattle dogs, the Australian shepherds that got to get their work done. They're going to get their work done. They don't have a choice. They have to finish it. They have to complete it. And because in most cases, especially, my goodness, it was my goats that really drilled in what I needed from this boy. Because I can't just, I got a goat in the neighbor's field. I got a goat on the easement. It was not even last year. What was it? Last year it was getting kind of chilly. August, September. My donkey jumped. He didn't jump the fence, but he snuck under the fence, and he's over there on the road out there. So the sheriff's got called. The sheriff's are calling me, buddy. Is this your donkey? And I'm like, man, my donkey's out there. I can't just. We'll go out there, have my dog working with the donkey to bring him to come back, and then he's halfway back and say, let's just take a snack. Let's go for a break right now. No, we got to complete this. We got to get it all the way done to the point that we bring him all the way in, and all the way to the point that we've repaired the fence that he's gotten out of. We got to do all of that before we're done. And that's the unfortunate part of my life. That could be a 5-hour ordeal. You want to go out there thinking it's a 5-minute fix, and it might take you 5 hours. That's my life. That's what I deal with. That's why a lot of times it's challenging for me to just like be doing all of what I'm doing, because these little things just always happen. The other day, my incubator, it's got an issue. I had to rebuild all kinds of parts, change fans, change this, change heat element, clean it, do this. And that was like 10 hours of work. It just randomly popped up. This is something that's got to get done. That's the life out here. That's that, for me, intelligent disobedience of my own self. I'm not going to quit until I get it done. I have to stay disciplined to knowing I have to finish and I have to complete the job. I can't just walk away from it. I got to get it done. And there's certain circumstances that absolutely has to happen, or you're not going to get what you need done. And or the worst case of it all, why that's a great thing in the dogs that are working for us, is because they're keeping us safe. They're protecting our lives. They're making sure that we're gonna be able to sleep another day. That's what they're doing. That's an incredible thing to have from a dog. Incredible thing. Absolutely incredible. This is the biggest disconnect I'll say what people have with dogs today like that. You do not have a bond like that, because you have no need for your dog to actually protect your life, to actually look over your back and say, I got you. They may be even scared, but they'll still go into that, situation to be able to make sure that you're going to stay alive. That's the part where police officers, when they got their dogs, that's why a lot of them become police, not police, but dog trainers and stuff, because they see the power. All it takes is one time. You don't have to do it every day. One time your dog does something to save your life, you're like hooked on dog. You're like, these dogs are incredible. They are amazing. They are just the world's greatest of absolute best of the best of the best, that they will even put their lives in danger to protect us. That's something that I've experienced many a times. That's something that I've been in the middle of. And that's why, for me, half the reason of why I care to do what I do and keep wanting to work with dogs, because I see that. And I see that how to be able to still be able to get something similar to that but not the whole thing, because you're not wanting to be in the danger. You don't have that aspect of life anymore. But being able to have that dog that is, this is the thing, when the dog is neutral to the world, it now can be able to actually pick up suspicious activity. This is something that, for me, I would want every woman, young girl, everyone. I don't know why, but I don't really care about guys because we live differently on these lands. Our thinking isn't danger. We don't have as much danger, unfortunately, as women do. Because, unfortunately, a lot of y'all women got danger from men and not even anything else. Just, unfortunately, these guys aren't being raised up in a way of having any sort of self-control. And it's something nice about being able to have an extremely neutral dog that will know how to be able to distinguish the difference between a threat, a real threat, and just something to not worry about. Your dog can't do that if it's looking all around like that. Because that's what my border collie is. He's sitting here right now. He's just chill. He's just completely chill, completely disengaged. But let that rooster man get right here. Let the cow get too close. Let the cow try to run at me. You will see him just get into it because he's aware. Most of y'all's dogs aren't aware. They're not nowhere near close to that point of being calm, of being neutral. So they can't be a real function for you in reality. They can't really do the work for you. That's an unfortunate thing. That's what I want to be able to help people out with. Because then you'll be able to walk and go places and do stuff and have your dog with you, knowing my dog's not going to bite anybody, bark at anybody, do anything. It's just there. But if that guy tries to come up to me and touch me behind this back alley, your dog's going to start to bark alert and say, hey, buddy, get out of here. I see you. Get off of this. Get out of here. Because the dog can smell it. They can smell that. And it's something that, this is the part of the animalistic stuff of us as humans. I can have someone behind me thinking of something to me, because this is how my dog works. I've seen this almost every day. I can have an animal behind me wanting to do something to me. I don't even see it, but my body reacts to something back there that I don't even see. And my dog sees my body react, and it says, hey, what's going on back there? And that thing back there is looking at me hostile, looking at me like, what are you doing? What you got going on? And the dog will trigger off of that and realize, what do I need to do here? And in most cases, what does my dog do at this point today? Because the roosters look at me hostile. The cows look at me a little weird. But he doesn't need to go to that point of even barking or pursuing or doing anything. He just has to let them know. He's just like, I see you. Stop eyeballing my man like that. And then they're like, oh, walk away. It's a beautiful thing to have that. That's how my shepherd is when I go out in public with them. That's in him. That's just in those dogs to do. And I don't take it out. But since he's so neutral, he can just look at it. He can say, hey, not time, not right now. We're good. Like, just leave it alone. Just leave it alone. And he just moves on. He doesn't need to bark. He doesn't need to growl. He doesn't need to show teeth. Doesn't need to do anything. Just needs to be aware. And being aware happens, in my opinion, when you start to become calm. When you're anxious and fight or flight and all these things, you're not living. You're not living. You're not living. Straight up. You're just not living if that's what's going on with you right now. And most of y'all dogs are living like that. They're not living. They're not able to just be able to be, the word I want to use here is satisfied. And being satisfied is something that can be achieved, but you got to do work to be able to get there. At the end of this, please do not look at my border collie. Please do not pay attention to my Pyrenees. They are not dogs that I showcase as what I'm able to do with them, because they do stuff that you do not need and you do not understand because you do not need. It's that simple.